The Exodus, a tale of epic proportions, a story woven into the very fabric of three great faiths, Judaism, Christianity and Islam. It is a story of suffering and deliverance, of miraculous escapes and divine intervention. Imagine, if you will, a people enslaved, yearning for freedom. Picture their desperate flight from captivity, led by a prophet appointed by God himself. This is the power of the Exodus story. It resonates deeply within us, speaking of hope in the face of oppression, of faith rewarded, and of a God who delivers his people from bondage. It is a story that has shaped laws, inspired revolutions, and offered solace across millennia. But is it merely a captivating tale, or does it hold a kernel of historical truth? The question has echoed through the ages, fueling passionate debate among historians, archaeologists and theologians alike. Let us delve into the heart of this enigma, exploring the sands of time for clues to the Exodus's veracity. Our journey takes us to the heart of ancient Egypt, where pharaohs ruled and empires clashed. The Exodus story, as we know it, is a potent blend of history, myth and theology. Unraveling its threads requires careful consideration of archaeological evidence, textual analysis and an appreciation for the cultural and religious milieu in which it was born. Our exploration begins in the land of the pharaohs, where the Nile River flows like a liquid spine through the desert. The New Kingdom period in Egypt, around 1550 to 1070 BCE, was a time of immense power and prosperity. Imagine a civilization at its zenith, with majestic temples, colossal statues, and a pharaoh's word considered law. The pharaohs of this era, including such renowned figures as Thutmose III and Rameses II, presided over a vast empire that stretched from Nubia in the south to Syria in the north. It is within this historical context that the Exodus is often placed. The Bible tells us that the Israelites endured centuries of forced labor in Egypt, building grand cities and monuments for their pharaoh. But the historical record, as we have it from the Egyptians themselves, remains tantalizingly silent on the Israelites' plight. Egyptian scribes, meticulous record keepers that they were, documented their victories in battle, the construction of monumental structures, and even mundane aspects of daily life. Yet they make no explicit mention of a mass exodus of slaves, nor of the plagues that supposedly devastated their land. This glaring omission has fueled skepticism among some scholars, leading them to question the historicity of the Exodus entirely. However, absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. The Egyptians were known to be selective in their historical accounts, often downplaying defeats or omitting events that might cast their rulers in a negative light. Could the Exodus, a story of divine judgment upon Egypt, be one such event deemed too embarrassing or theologically inconvenient to record? While the Egyptians may not explicitly mention the Israelites by name, their records do speak of a group known as the Shasu. These were nomadic peoples who lived in the Levant, an area encompassing present-day Israel, Palestine and Jordan. The Egyptians considered the Shasu a nuisance, a threat to their eastern borders, and often launched campaigns to subdue them. Intriguingly, some scholars believe that the biblical Israelites may have been among these Shasu tribes. The term Shasu itself is more descriptive than ethnic, referring to a way of life rather than a specific people group. It is conceivable that the Israelites, fleeing Egypt and seeking a new homeland, might have been absorbed into these nomadic communities. Furthermore, Egyptian texts describe the Shasu as pastoralists, much like the Israelites are depicted in the Bible. They are also associated with the deity Yahweh, whose name bears a striking resemblance to the God of the Israelites. These tantalizing clues, although circumstantial, suggest a possible connection between the Shasu and the Israelites. However, it is important to tread cautiously. The gap between these fleeting references in Egyptian texts and the grand narrative of the Exodus remains significant. While the Shasu connection offers an intriguing avenue for exploration, it is by no means conclusive proof of the Exodus's historicity. Section 4. Echoes of a Journey, Settlement, Patterns and Artifacts. Our search for clues now leads us to the realm of archaeology. If the Exodus did occur, one might expect to find traces of the Israelites' journey across the Sinai Peninsula and their subsequent arrival in Canaan. Archaeologists have diligently scoured these regions, seeking remnants of campsites, artifacts, or any material evidence that might corroborate the biblical account. However, the archaeological record has proven frustratingly ambiguous. While there is evidence of settlements in Canaan dating back to the Late Bronze Age, around 1550 to 1200 BCE, the period in which the Exodus is often placed, none can be definitively linked to the Israelites. Some archaeologists point to the sudden emergence of new settlement patterns and pottery styles in Canaan around the 13th century BCE as potential signs of an Israelite arrival. However, these changes could also be attributed to other factors such as internal migrations, cultural diffusion, or even climate change. The lack of clear, unambiguous archaeological evidence has led some scholars to conclude that the Exodus, if it happened at all, was a much smaller scale event than the Bible describes, perhaps involving a single clan or tribe rather than an entire nation. The search for material evidence continues, but for now, the archaeological record offers more questions than answers. Section 5. Parting the Waters, Natural Phenomena and the Red Sea. Perhaps the most iconic event in the Exodus story is the parting of the Red Sea. The image of a wall of water dividing to allow the Israelites safe passage, only to collapse upon their pursuers, has captivated the imagination for millennia. But could such a miraculous event have a natural explanation? Some scientists have proposed that a phenomenon known as wind set-down could account for the parting of the waters. Strong, sustained winds blowing across a shallow body of water can push the water away from the shore, creating a temporary land bridge. Once the wind subsides, the water rushes back in. This theory gained traction in recent years with computer simulations, demonstrating how wind set-down could have created a dry path across a shallow lake or lagoon in the Nile Delta region, where some scholars believe the crossing may have occurred. Others have suggested that seismic activity, such as an earthquake or volcanic eruption, could have triggered a tsunami or other dramatic water displacement that the Israelites interpreted as a miraculous parting. While these natural explanations offer intriguing possibilities, they ultimately remain speculative. The biblical account emphasizes the suddenness and completeness of the water's division, which seems difficult to reconcile with the gradual processes of wind set-down or even the rapid but chaotic nature of a tsunami. Section 6, Faith and History, the Theological Perspective. For many believers, the historicity of the Exodus is inseparable from their faith. The Exodus story forms a cornerstone of Jewish identity, commemorating their deliverance from slavery and covenant with God. It is celebrated annually during Passover, a testament to the story's enduring power and relevance. Christians, too, find profound meaning in the Exodus. They see it as a prefiguring of Jesus Christ, whom they view as the ultimate deliverer from sin and death. The crossing of the Red Sea is interpreted as a baptism, a symbolic death to slavery and rebirth into new life. Islam also recognizes the Exodus as a pivotal event in human history. The Quran recounts the story of Moses and the Israelites' flight from Egypt, emphasizing God's power and mercy in delivering them from oppression. The Exodus serves as a reminder of God's faithfulness to his prophets and his willingness to intervene in human affairs. For people of faith, the Exodus is more than just a historical event. It is a living narrative that continues to inspire hope, resilience, and a belief in the possibility of divine intervention. Section 7, The Search Continues, a Legacy of Questions. The Exodus stands as one of history's most enduring mysteries. Despite centuries of scholarly inquiry, archaeological investigations, and theological debate, its historicity remains an enigma. The evidence as it stands is open to interpretation, fueling ongoing discussions and prompting us to grapple with the complex interplay of faith, history, and human experience. While we may never definitively prove or disprove the Exodus's historicity, the search for understanding is invaluable in its own right. It forces us to confront the limits of our knowledge, to grapple with the ambiguities of the past, and to appreciate the power of stories to shape our beliefs and values. The Exodus, whether rooted in literal history or serving as a powerful allegory, continues to resonate deeply within the human psyche. It reminds us of the enduring struggle for freedom, the importance of faith and hope, and the profound impact that stories can have on individuals and entire civilizations. And so, the quest for understanding continues, a testament to the enduring legacy of the Exodus and its profound impact on human history and belief.